Guys, today is a big occasion because this is the 12-year anniversary of me launching this channel. I can't believe I'm saying that it's already been that long. There's been so many ups and downs, but also opportunities I never thought I'd have. So I just wanted to say a huge thank you to anyone who has watched my content, has maybe kept up with the Artv throughout the years. Thank you for being a part of this. Hey neighbor, welcome back to a special edition countdown of my top 25 songs by the Bay Area punks Green Day. It turns out that God and I actually have something huge in common, since they're also my favorite band, so call it divine intervention, or just an excuse for me to make more Green Day content. I just wanted to make an updated list that truly represents what I feel are their best songs. There's so much that's changed in the past 5 years since I made my old top 20, by the way, thank you for 100K on that, but there's also plenty that stayed the same, at least somewhat so. So let's move into this new era. Please check out the video description to see my honorable mentions. Warning, there are a lot. And also help me get this video to 2,000 likes. That engagement really helps my videos get pushed in the algorithm. And without further ado, here's number 25. I'm just burning out, and my second lungs are working most of the time. Hurricane-like force opens the floodgates to Green Day's breakout record with Burnout. This was one of the first ever non-singles I heard back in the day, but I don't think it's nostalgia skewing my perception of this being one of the greats. I know a slapper when I hear it, and this dominates with gargantuan drums, angsty vocals that vilify the 9-to-5 routine, and a loudmouth performance that serves as the anthem for the jaded youth. Cascading shades of guitar ricochet deep into the political forest of Holiday, an edgy cut that turns the mirror back on the establishment as Billie Joe all but spits in the faces of the war-crazed leaders trying to stir up public support in the name of patriotism. Oh, these damn Green Day guys, they won't keep politics out of music. Holiday demands to be played loud since its aggressive energy captures your mind's eye at every passing glance. It's fast with the punches, but the bass megaphone breakdown coming out of a wicked guitar solo should remind you of just how multifaceted this 4-minute rocker is. Lighting up the airwaves next is Bang Bang, the immensely catchy lead single from the band's 2016 album Rev Rab that marked a major return to form. I still have such great memories of the day this came out, and I've gotten a lot of mileage out of this dark punk-tastic gem. It's really a testament to how they can still pop off like kettle corn if the right ingredients are in place. Billie Joe Armstrong tried to write this from the perspective of a mass shooter without glorifying the act or endorsing violence. Instead, it explores what would drive someone to do that, maybe for fame or maybe their own fucked up manifesto kill list. But either way, its darkness is kinda offhanded by some landmark drumming with an impressive as hell fill before the final hook, and an all-star Green Day fireworks show that easily puts it up there among their late career best. Welcome to... You saw which version I have on the list. Wait for it. What? Did this guy just put the Dookie version on the list over Kerplunk? Fucking mouth breather. Ugh. Anyways, here's a list of reasons why I'll be invalidating everything you say from here on out. Now that we got that out of our system, welcome to paradise, baby! Bump that bass skill level up to expert and recite every word as you slowly blow out your eardrums from cranking the volume knob. Not that I suggest doing that, but good God, they tempt you more than a water fountain in the middle of the Sahara Desert. Rage Against the Mundane. scratch that, don't even just rage, kick their teeth in while you're at it. Ladies and gentlemen, allow Platypus to serve as a much-needed toxin cleanse for the leech in your life, the jackass holding on to your coattails by just a thread, but you shred that thread with Billie Joe's venomous spite and loads of headbangs because this is hands down one of Green Day's most riot-starting punk tracks ever.
Hey, 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 hey. Well, dead to the girl at the end of a serenade.
Peacemaker is a ridiculously overlooked cut from Green Day's second rock opera, a brisk song for the vagabonds seeking revenge, gun in hand, shoot first, handle the consequences later. The symmetry is remarkable. You can't not appreciate those beautifully weird acoustics and the way they dance around the fire circle vocal harmonies that have the boys sounding like they're about to lay down an ancient sacrifice.
How did a life on the wild side ever get so
Nothing better than an aging artist taking a moment to catch their breath, collect some thoughts, and shoot them back out as words of wisdom in a song. And that's exactly what we got on RevRad's opening moment, Somewhere Now. Take that description as the track's shooting star, but maybe for you that isn't enough to just hook you on it by me saying that. That's where we introduce the wildly entertaining instrumental portion. A blazing trail highlighted by some great stop-start thrills, vibrating guitar crescendos, and a mostly happy attitude from their frontman that celebrates the highs and lows life has to offer.
So please don't make me beg for blood sex you give me.
It's not so much the subject matter of the song that hooks me, although hearing Billie Joe begging for the bedroom kinks and a submissive relationship is definitely an interesting point of view. It's the subliminal changes they made to their established sounds that led this to being one of Warning's best cuts.
Broken glass inside my head, bleeding down these thoughts of anguish.
Patience is the key to loving Panic Song the way I've come to love it. It's a wait-and-see moment for sure, and while I acknowledge that my lovely history with anxiety probably swayed my pendulum ever so slightly towards appreciating it even more, I think this should be recognized as a genuinely well-spun effort no matter how you look at it. Both Mike Dirnt and Billie Joe Armstrong battled panic attacks in the early days of the band, so it's really cathartic to see them tethering these hard waves of pain to a rambunctious build-up of punk noise that doesn't even cue the first trace of vocals until the 2-minute mark.
All the songs have barely raised, 'cause I've learned from my mistakes. Well, open the bags and friends and now when we are there. Sorry to tell and I am listening.
Over time, Scattered really snuck up on me. I don't even think I fully realized how much I loved this song until I started diving back into Green Day's discography again to get ready for this video. It's a really warm, special track with an overtly sentimental heart that has me looking back all misty-eyed as the lyrics describe a person that's looking back at all of these snapshots and photos of old memories. This isn't necessarily a sad song, it's actually pretty peppy sounding musically, which is great. The churning guitars and signature vocal harmonies are on point as always, but the nostalgia factor weighs heavily. And I guess not to get into too many details, I'm a person that tends to affix a lot of value to photos and pictures and memories and things, so this song Scattered definitely gives me a wide range of emotions.
Ring out the bells again, like we did when spring began.
Wake Me Up When September Ends is the eternally misunderstood tearjerker that saw Billie Joe pushing the grief surrounding the death of his father to the spotlight, and although some morons still joke about, oh, it's October now, somebody should probably wake up that guy from Green Day, I think most have come to understand what a beautiful release of anguish this popular single truly is. In early 2005, 13-year-old me played this song to my mom as a way to reason with my parents that Green Day weren't just the poster boys of that devil music. I played this as a way to prove that they were so much more, and while it didn't really work out in my favor, and I still got my burned copy of American Idiot confiscated, I'm 99% positive my mom ended up calling the song pretty, so it was a small little victory in my book. Also, September Ends has one of my favorite guitar solos of all time, and I think it feels even more rewarding because of the journey it takes to get there. We're very lucky to be living at a time where mental health has been destigmatized, at least to a significant degree, but writing a song about anxiety in the early 1990s was not very common, and I can promise you that. In many ways now, I feel that anxiety and other disorders relating to that are romanticized or else used as leverage to try and relate to a younger audience, but this track 80 off of Kerplunk is as genuine as they come. There's still a glisten of hope in the spry bass work, kinda like it's working alongside that smoothed out guitar to drive away the shadows of intrusive negative thoughts that anxiety can bring, but overall, I think that this is a match made in heaven or hell, depending on how you look at it.
Melancholy is calling from the land she's wanting ya, calling Christian and Gloria.
Most people would point the arrow straight at a certain 2004 album if we're talking multi-part songs from a Green Day rock opera, but the Who-inspired 21st Century Breakdown has its aces as well, with The Belle of the Boulevard being American Eulogy. Bloody brilliant craftsmanship is on display, starting with the callback to Song of the Century, then giving way to an ever-changing soundscape that charts new territory for Green Day, featuring shouted vocals from Billie, a balls-to-the-wall solo, a punky chant, and also my man Mike Dirnt doing an incredible job singing the majority of the song's second half.
Nobody cares, well nobody cares, does anyone care, and nobody cares, well nobody cares, well nobody cares.
Holy fuck, this punk rock band got ballsy. We're talking multiple multi-part songs within a concept album rock opera about war, drugs, and apathy. It broke every rule that people had metaphorically put in place for Green Day, yet here we are decades later talking on about the legacy of the long song. I'd like to officially add a long, constantly evolving multi-part Green Day songs to my list of turn-ons. I realize that no one asked for this information, but here I have volunteered it. Let's not make this more awkward than it has to be, because you're uncomfortable with me speaking your silent truth. Homecoming gloriously parades each member of the trio through town on a giant float. Everyone sings, everyone rips into their instrument of choice. It's a rock dance-off where all of these pent-up feelings of coming back to a place you'd left behind so long ago ruptures your emotional radar, giving you a full spectrum of emotion that can range from hostile to nostalgic.
My beating heart belongs to you. I walked for miles till I found you.
Long before I'd found my true love, I know. I still consider this to be one of the most romantic songs of all time. It hits even harder now to the point of tears with how fitting Last Night on Earth became for Hannah and I's story that started off long distance, and you can probably see why those lyrics would feel very relatable to us. But the imagery beyond just some of that takes it even further. This is going to be the soundtrack to our first dance at our wedding, something that we both instantly agreed on because it's our song. It's just beautiful in every way imaginable. The lush pianos, the way that Billie's voice is filtered to make it sound a bit distant and forlorn. There is so much energy in this track, and energy doesn't have to be high octane. Energy can be sustainable because of the fact that you consistently have engaging material, and that's exactly what Last Night on Earth has, a full heart that's pumping consistently. File this one under drug bangers because this song's about meth. Not to sound like I'm glorifying addiction, this song doesn't do that either, but the lyrics are pretty twisted when you hold a magnifying glass to them. It's just this crunchy 2-minute punch delivering a whole lot of fun, but at the same time it's doing so while also technically being pretty damn dark.
I'm all busted up, broken bones and nasty cuts. I've
Another seemingly cheery tune chirps out like a songbird who just got their cage covered for the night, a la Stephen King's Misery. The slow fading of hope as the light leaves someone's eyes has never sounded so charming. I mean, this is a song with some dark humor for sure, but it's also got some scary real-life parallels. The vocal harmonies sound filthy rich. It's just not even fair on the chorus. It's the best non-single on Dookie, and that's a hell of an accomplishment considering how legendary every track has become.
This girl has flown far away. Now she's gone. This girl has flown far away. Now she's gone.
Every time I play through Nimrod, I end up fixating on this cut Hashinka. If it's on vinyl, I move the needle back, streaming, I hit repeat. There's a really hypnotic rock burn to this smoldering cut that Armstrong wrote about a fan he met in the early 90s while Green Day were on their first international tour. The demo existed for years, but they finally re-recorded the track for an album, and I'm so glad that it lives on officially despite being so underrated. Those thundering drums spearhead the driving pace at which they operate, forcing Billie's vocals slightly to the back burner, but it doesn't matter, this still totally kills.
Jesus of Siberian, the sanctioning is a thing in hand. The father's rage in the mom's world. Maybe being American, the sun on the two-year underground.
Taunting playground quips about nobody liking you might hit a little bit close to home as the song finds its feet, but I think it frames it really well with the intentions of Letter Bomb. It was written from the perspective of Whatsername, the lost love of our main American idiot protagonist St. Jimmy, and every time you think you've got Letter Bomb pinned down, it shows off another color. Green Day went off on this one, and I can see why both fans and haters of the group agree that this is one of their best accomplishments. The heat just won't stop erupting from those volcano-like guitars. Everything is sequenced masterfully, and if you're looking for a tension-releasing, head-banging, sing-back every single word anthem, put Letter Bomb in your head and light the fucking fuse.
Do or die, no reply, don't deny that you're synthetic. You're pathetic. Love and love and much hatred, like a savage of rampaging.
No, Nimrod actually does not end at good riddance. Who would have known? Well, me for one, as I shout from the mountaintops over and over again to please put some respect on Prosthetic Head, the actual closer, and a fierce sarcastic lashing we probably all deserved at some point. From the rather dry, bouncy intro to the strutting riffs of the pre-chorus, this mannequin can dance, and that becomes even more clear once Tre's rolling drum hits deliver us into the promised land. The soaring chorus that goes down as one of Green Day's best ever, so forgive me if I refuse to shut the fuck up about Prosthetic Head. It's too good to not be blasting it out there. The Merriam-Webster Dictionary defines angst as Longview by Green Day. And if not, then that should be updated immediately. This is the hellish teenage boredom nightmare epitomized in a song. The creeping bass groove is instantly familiar. Paired up with Billie's juggernaut vocals and riffs, the climax of this track is basically them saying fuck you to the man. I wonder why it still resonates today.
Know your enemy.
Airing grievances on the opioid crisis is never an easy topic to just slide into, but I'm still amazed at how meticulous Billie's prescription pad sounds as he penned what I feel is 21st Century Breakdown's most stunning track. There's a classic rock cadence with the way they slowly introduce more instruments. They start off more minimal with a light piano and some additional guitars alongside the orchestral elements, and then they take those and twist it to become even more beautiful and haunted by the end of the moment. I can't help but lose it every time I'm reminded of how insane things get during the bridge before giving way to that orgasmic guitar solo. You can add all of those things to a very long list of why this song is criminally underrated. Stop what you're doing right now. In fact, maybe just pause the video here, go hear the song in full. Different vibes all around for this often forgotten single from their often forgotten album Warning. This always struck me as one of the most hopeful tracks in their discography, with lyrics like "Better Thank Your Lucky Stars" and "I'm Destined for Anything at All" landing dangerously close to being pretty damn motivational. When you think of Green Day, I think you often associate a certain magnitude or scale to their sound, but Warning takes an alternate route as it changes lanes to more of an acoustic rock atmosphere without losing the bigger picture. It still has elements of their massively catchy sound, it just sneakily adds in more ingredients that maybe you wouldn't have expected on Dookie or Insomniac. Green Day's iconic 5-part song lives on as one of the best things to come out of the 21st century thus far. Jesus of Suburbia never fails to deliver serotonin straight to your bloodstream. The perfect pacing sells you the news of the world of St. Jimmy and Whatsername, a fictitious couple meant to represent the spirit of the youth at large. It's a love letter to rock opera masterpieces that, oddly enough, ended up becoming a rock opera masterpiece in its own right. With so much variety living under one singular roof, you'd probably think that maybe the melodies wouldn't mesh as well over time as the 9 minutes roll by, but somehow it does. Green Day were never supposed to make a song like this. They were supposed to be the 2-minute punk band that never made it out of the 90s alive, but when Jesus of Suburbia lifted its veil, jaws were on the floor. This song will never get old, it will never die, there is always a reason to come back and adjust your focus, and it can still make those hairs on the back of your neck stand up tall. Loyalty runs deep, and that's exactly what kept Boulevard of Broken Dreams on top of the throne. Music that keeps you alive, with a reason to push forward despite whatever isolation you're feeling, is music that you'll never grow out of. There's no expiration date on a massive hit like this. It's a song that spoke to hundreds of millions around the globe, and it continues to find its way into new hearts. As they channel both acoustic and electric dynamics, Green Day brought in that stuttered, reverb-heavy guitar loop that gives this a really unique sound, something that they'd never really done before and haven't done to this degree since then. Boulevard of Broken Dreams is my favorite song of all time, and it's been my favorite since I was 13. It was with me through a really difficult transitional time in my teenage years that involved me moving away, leaving behind all of my friends for this strict Christian school experience where basically nobody listened to music if it wasn't about Jesus Christ, and no, Jesus of Suburbia didn't count. Trust me, I asked. Some might find it overly familiar or too vague lyrically, but the statements they're making don't feel cheesy or overdone at all. Having a universal message doesn't mean sacrificing identity, and Boulevard is living proof that simple words and smashing solos can have a profound effect on anyone's life. Thank you for not only watching this special edition Top 25 Green Day Countdown, but also for supporting my channel over the past 12 years. We're about to head into the next one. Thank you for your support. Please hit that like button. Leave your thoughts on this list in the comment section down below, along with maybe your own top 10, top 20, whatever. There's more Green Day content on screen now, and I'll be back soon with more right here on Artv.